another mission. We have found a strangest looking thing you've ever seen in your life that is street legal, and we're going after it. Built back in 83.
83, I believe what it was.
It's oddball stuff.
They said it had a 78 motorcycle in it.
Goldwing.
Sounds impressive, don't it?
Johnny likes weird stuff. He has had all kinds of weird stuff over the years, and this is going to top it, no doubt. I don't know if it's a motorcycle. I don't know if it's a Volkswagen. I don't know if it's I don't know what you'd call
it. I don't either. You got me. You showed me the pictures of it, then.
We bought it sight unseen. Pictures tell 1,000 stories. You know how that is once you get there, but we don't care. We're going to buy it anyway. We're going to drive down there and come back empty-handed. I'll get it out here in a minute. But we've thought about a name for we thought about a name for the build, and we're going to call it, what is it?
Triple Threat.
Triple Threat. And when you see it, you'll see why we call it Triple Threat. And so how come you always, you put a seatbelt on even before we leave the driveway.
Well, they say that's the first thing you're supposed to do when you get in the car.
Man, I've wrecked a lot. I've wrecked a bunch. You'll be fine. I got all this figured out. If I scream, you'll know.
Hang on.
Hey, we're going to get down here and get this thing, show you what we got. So hold on tight and put your seatbelt on. Well, it's loaded. I got a nice 55 sitting there, but no, we got this. What is it? We've loaded up Johnny's. He's like a kid at Christmas.
Can't wait to get it home. Unbox it and see what's in it.
Oh Lord, you remember which way we went here?
It wasn't down that way. No, I guess this is it.
Anyway, Johnny's excited. Johnny has bought a Tri Magnum. We went in halvers on this thing because we couldn't afford it. we didn't have
that much money.
And so anyway, we've loaded this thing up. We're headed back to the house now. And this is the craziest looking thing I think I've ever seen.
I've never seen one like it.
It was on the cover of, what magazine was it? Mechanics Illustrated?
Yeah, Mechanics
In 1983, there's a big article on it in 1983. Thing has got 50 miles to the gallon. It weighs 1,200 pounds. It's supposed to be the cat's meow back in 1983.
And fairly peppy when it would run. It's like, what was it, 15 horsepower per pound or pounds per horsepower?
Something like
Is that the way they run it?
When they said 1,200 pounds, but now we just loaded this thing on here. I think it weighs more than 12. I think it's got 1,200 pounds worth of Bondo.
It was heavy. Maybe the plywood has soaked up some moisture over the years.
This thing, honestly, y'all, it is a Volkswagen front clip or front pan. They've cut that off, and then they welded a whole motorcycle other than the front forks as a power plant in this thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good idea, but golly.
In 83, this was a big deal in 1983.
Yeah. Nobody was doing it back then.
And it's got to, I don't know if you get down in it, I don't think me and Johnny could get back out of it. We'd have to have somebody to help us out. I'm not kidding you. I mean,
Well, we looked at those seats and kind of decided they didn't belong in it.
right. So it's got a pair of bucket seats placed in there.
But they're like got your knees up in your chest, and it's really cramped.
And then the stern wheel actually folds away to where you can get in and out of the thing.
Right, and it looked like there wasn't anything holding it stationary.
So now what kind of motor?
Like you could move the steering wheel up and drive like this if you wanted to.
Now what kind of engine or motor is it? What kind of motorcycle is it? Goldwing?
A Honda Goldwing. To me, it looked like a 78 year model. I think the very first year was a 78, and I believe they were all green.
Right.
No fairing or anything like they are now. It was
right.
And then they didn't call it Goldwing back then. It was a GL 1000 or something like that.
Right.
And that's got four cylinder, a flat four, or I think some of them call it an H4.
Right. It's
got carburetors.
4 carburetors.
Yeah, individual carburetors on each hole.
And that's the part you're worried about.
Has me worried. I've heard that they're expensive to rebuild,
right,
and hard to get right. So that's a little worrisome right there. The brakes, you wonder about. Well, let's see. That on the motorcycle part, it'd be just the one rear brake, so that should.
You have a disc brake on the front and drums on. Let's see, disc on the back and drums on the front. That's
yep.
That's backwards.
A little odd.
It's got a Volkswagen front clip on it, or a Volkswagen front pan, so that's going to give you the drum brakes on that.
Yeah, that's the pedal configuration.
Well, now, whoever had this thing at one time, whoever owned this thing and built this to begin with, hold on, we're going to wreck. No, we're all right. Put air conditioning on it. They rigged up an air conditioning
unit. That's the amazing part.
I don't think.
How would you do that? I mean, how?
It got air on it. This thing has got air, and it's got a trailer hitch where he's obviously pulled something along with it behind it because there's nowhere to put any kind of luggage or anything.
Yeah, if you're going to go somewhere.
So when whoever built this thing, really, I mean, they spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
And it's like everything else. It quits running or something happens to it, and they park it, and there it sits. And it ends up at Phillips Motor Company with Johnny.
Yeah.
So, and while we're talking about this, Johnny loves this oddball stuff. No doubt, yep. Johnny loves this oddball stuff. And the reason I say that is, back growing up, Johnny always had the oddball cars, and he had a Fiat van. What the heck was that?
They called it a multipla.
A multipla.
Yeah. I think it was like a 58 or 59 year model. Had a 600cc engine in it from Fiat.
Right.
Had like 18 or 20 horsepower.
Woo!
It's a fun little thing. I never could get the Fiat motor to work right. Because some year models turn counterclockwise and some year models turn clockwise.
And these are built in Italy, right?
Yeah, and I never could find a counterclockwise motor to put in it.
Right. So,
I put an 850 Spider motor in it. It bolted all up, but I had 4 reverses and 1 forward.
Oh, that's always exciting. Well, can you not flip the transaxle like they do a Volkswagen?
It mounted different than a Volkswagen.
But that's the thing about it. He ended up putting a Volkswagen in it. And if y'all seen one of these, what do you call that thing?
Transaxle?
No, what'd you call the little bus?
Oh, multiple.
A little multiple. It is tiny little thing, and then it's about half the size of the Volkswagen. So we put a Volkswagen motor on it, and then it had the wheels sticking way out on the side.
Yeah, I had to enlarge the fender was opening just a little bit.
It looked like a tractor until you cranked it up, and it was a Volkswagen.
Yep. And it ran great. The shift pattern was reversed, so you start out in 4th gear.
Right.
The lever is in 4th gear, and then you can shift down to high gear, which is be up where 1st is.
Right.
So you had to learn a reverse pattern shifting. Right. But that didn't take long.
Well, we're on our way now back.
I didn't mind coloring outside the lines.
Well, we got one we're going to color outside the lines with. We're going to get back with this thing, show you what we got, and look it over and just see how bad it really is.
Right now, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But we got big ideas.
Big ideas.
Lots of ideas.
I love people with visions.
We got ideas, but no money.
Yeah, I love people with visions. Yep, visions. And ours are a little dim right now. All righty, we're back with the Tri Magnum. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Anyway, we're going to drop this thing off the trailer, and we'll let Johnny tell you about his new toy. This is a dumb idea.
Well, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes
No,
they start out that way.
All right, let's get it off. How's it now?
A little loose, little loose.
Your head's sticking through the roof, man.
We're going to quit as a gurney bubble right there. It was gurney, wasn't it? Dan Gurney had to put a bubble on the GT40.
That'll work. Just so his head stick through. Well, what do you think, Johnny?
Got a new turn signal switch. I guess that's a turn signal switch. Got a left, right, and a center.
And this is going to be your clutch.
And the clutch appears to be non-functional. A few things to do yet.
Well, now this thing, look here. It's got air conditioning. I kid you not. What is this? Okay, that's a headrest in there.
That might be, that's AC and maybe heater, maybe?
Surely not. I reckon where you get heat from.
The motor. It's a water-cooled motor.
Is it a water-cooled motor?
It is a tad cramped.
You reckon we get you out of there now?
Well,
this will be the fun part, watching Johnny get out. I dig them socks, man. They're nice socks.
Those old man socks is what those are. No, that edit that part out.
We get a milk crate.
There, that's what that pad is right there. That's for a pad so you can step on it right there. There used to be a pad right there.
We're fixing to do a walk around and see See what we got.
I want to know who's going to have to drive it first.
Well, your head sticks to the roof.
We have a lot of work to do. There's no doubt about that. But that's what you get, a project forest, so you've got something to do. We have something to do now. I don't know where to start.
We can start about how fine this car is. That's awfully a sway bar land.
He said it was laying on the ground, and he doesn't know if it goes with this car or not. So he just throwed it in the cab.
We don't need it. Throw that away. You can actually see, if you look down here with the camera, you can actually see the pedals for the, that is the Volkswagen pedals and brake pedals for the Volkswagen. And then sticking right through here, they got it so far down, that's actually the stern sector, is it not?
No, that's the rear brake caliper that I picked up off the ground.
No, I'm talking about, oh, okay, I see that. I'm talking about right here. This is
yeah, that's the steering box there. Yeah, that's the rear brake caliper.
Oh.
That was laying on the ground after we moved it.
Right. Let's see. See if we can get this thing hot lit off of it. If we can get her.
There. It's reasonably safe.
These seats do not belong in this, I'm telling you. Well,
Maybe we can find something else to put them in.
I'm going to take this out and just see if it'll come out. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
2 pieces. It's laying in there.
Now, what do you suppose this pocket is for? I don't think there's going to be anybody in the back seat storing stuff here.
Yeah, that definitely just sitting in there. Them seats are sitting in there.
Yeah, they're wet too. They need help if they're going to be used on something.
Oh, there's your rat's nest.
You said you smelled one.
Oh, odd, if you can see right here, they've had some kind of a seat that went in here this way.
Yeah, just bolted in right here. A little foam, piece of plywood, some foam on it, and some vinyl. You had a seat
down, and then your feet actually sets up your knee like this, and that's where you're supposed to drive that thing. You not think?
Yeah.
That just blows my mind. They got air conditioning on it. And here's you. I guess your radio was over here. It looks like the radio.
Yeah, that's where it is now. Now they made good use of the Volkswagen speedometer. That's it right there, just bolted up like an old school tack. Got a cable drive. 3,000 miles, is that right?
No, I see a 2 there.
A 2, okay, 2,300 miles on this pristine example. Cable drive, old school speedometer, molded it up like the old school tack. We've got water temperature over here, fuel level, voltage, lights, all sorts of toggle switches.
Guess this one makes you go extra fast.
One of them might be the ejector button.
Ejector?
Yeah. Oh, here's another one up here. What's this? Amp meter. Tell me whether or not that GM alternator back there is still working. And then this. Okay, this is how you release the canopy right before you hit the ejector button.
Rats are gone.
Oh, ID plate. This thing actually has a serial number. State of Kansas?
I would say the reason they did that, Johnny, is because your titling on certain states are harder. Like Georgia, it's hard to build a kit car in Georgia and get it titled.
Yeah.
And some states are easier to do that with, and I think that's one of the easier states.
Back in '83, though, I think Georgia was fairly lenient back then.
I don't know.
But, you know, that may have been done later.
I got all kinds of switches and knobs up here. I bet that's
your proportioning valve for brakes?
No, it's got wires to it. Oh. I bet that's your fan control.
Fan control, yeah.
Boy, it'd be hard to change.
Hard to reach, yeah. You set it and forget it.
Yeah. I want to see you sit down in that hole now and get back out.
Oh, what's this toggle switch for? Yeah, there's a gas tank right there.
Thermostat. Glove compartment.
Air filter.
You said this thing is water cooled?
Water cooled, 4-cylinder. Got 2 holes.
We got brake lights up here inside this thing. Why would we have brake lights inside this?
Maybe they were just wanting it for an under hood light so you can work on it at night. Yeah, right there's another brake light. Right there. What that?
I have no idea. Well, I'm gonna tell you now, if you look at this thing, this is all they've done. This is the motorcycle. They've even left the fender on the motorcycle. This is the metal frame on the motorcycle. They've run it right up here and they've bolted it directly to. So this is where your forks went in, right here.
Yeah.
And then they bolted it. They didn't even weld it. It's bolted to that. There's your fan for your air cool.
And how they keep it from swaying from side to side?
I don't know, but if you didn't get it lined up, you'd be going cockeyed down the road, would you not? If you didn't have it lined up right.
Yeah, it looks like there's a frame member right here running up to the Volkswagen pan.
Well, now look down here at the bottom. If you'll see,
Yeah,
that's actually just bolted there. It's not. It's just bolted
to the fiberglass part.
Well, it's got a metal. You see the metal frame coming back, and it's just bolted to the back.
To the body, yeah.
So you've got 3 locations that hold this thing in. And then this is the cool part. You'll see right here, whoever had this has wired them up and welded up a AC compressor to run air conditioning and a GM alternator down here. And that looks about like something we'd do. I mean, that is. But it obviously worked coming off the front of the engine, so he put air conditioning on that. Because these was kits, you had to come up with your own thing. And even the gas tank's like brand new. How many gallons is that?
I'm gonna bet it's about 3.
So why would they not put a different fuel tank on it to where you could put about 10 or 15 gallons in it?
Cheap to build. You use what you can off the motorcycle. If that doesn't suit you, then you can be free to, put like a marine outboard gas tank on it.
So that's what I would think. But you can see where I'm going to show you here. They bolted right there. Is bolted the frame of the motorcycle to this. And then you have this bolted, which is just the forks. And that's all that holds that in there. And this is a Honda 78. What model is this, Johnny?
I believe it's a 78. It looks like a 78, but I haven't found an ID plate on it anywhere yet.
And then it's not even back here. This is the fender still on it.
Yeah, and that's part of your trailer hitch. That bar there and that bar there.
It's a 78, Johnny.
So, okay, what is this? What is this here, Johnny?
Air compressor for those shocks that raise the door.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. So there ain't nothing to that. And then that's just wood, plywood. That's just plywood. So when you order the kit, you think they just sent you the plywood body and you put your own motor in? That's pretty much the way it went?
Yeah. I believe that's how it went.
Wow.
See, they've welded up a frame to bolt or welded to the Volkswagen axle. It doesn't have the pan, the Volkswagen pan, does it?
Nope. Nope. You definitely don't have the pan. They just weld their own frame on there and just use that front end off of a Volkswagen.
Got a cable for some reason. And actually, yeah, the back half of it looks swoopy. It looks aerodynamic back here.
along with the, I'm going to guess that these are, and I'm not going to guarantee it, but these look like Volvo station wagon taillights to me, upside down.
Well, one of them is.
That not Volvo?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I believe them are Volvo.
I thought one of them was upside down. The other.
I think they're both upside down.
Yeah.
Then he put his trailer hitch here, which looked like he hauled a pretty good mount because it's bent. What year was this thing tagged? This is Georgia. Can you see that? I can't see. November. Well, it's got, like I said, it's got the arrow shape. Definitely Volkswagen front end, and then these fenders, I think your mirrors went here maybe. It's got some, but this is fiberglass. But then up here at the front, this metal piece here, that guy that we got it from said the man that he got it from actually put that on there. He was trying to put a Camaro, 3rd gen Camaro front clip on this thing, just cutting it down and making it fit. But
I found some pictures of this thing,
right,
as it's supposed to be,
right,
and it actually had what looked like a impact absorbing bumper on it. That
that helped for about a second.
and then of course the headlights were mounted into that bumper. It had a black bumper looking thing,
Right.
and
you can see
this is how it came, and then they had a separate bumper up here.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought it would have had some sort of a swoopy, pointy nose.
So tell me something. The reason everybody does this, I'm not a big kit car guy. I got one, but the reason everybody goes with a 3-wheel build is because of
But legal things.
right?
You can get away with a lot because it's a motorcycle. It's a motorcycle because it has 3 wheels. It's not a motorcycle in function because it has a steering wheel and pedals and supposedly seat belts. But yeah, to be a motorcycle, you get away with a lot of emissions, a lot of safety. You can basically do anything you want. And as a owner, yeah, you can do anything you want. But when these people were building it, they had to meet certain specs. A motorcycle had a lot fewer specs, especially back in '83 when they were building it. There was basically no rules back then.
But now one of the things that you told me,
If you go with the car specs, you have to pass emissions. You have to have safety. A lot of rules. They got DOT specs on what the headlights are and your tail lights.
that's one of the things you told me, that the headlight had to be in the center.
Yeah. If this car was built today, they would have to put one headlight in the center. Now, on the manufacturer's side,
Right.
owners can do whatever they want. They can take that headlight off and throw it away and put in 2 headlights. But the manufacturer would have to put in one headlight due to meet DOT specs.
Well, I just think it's cool looking. I mean, it looks rough right now, but in reality, after we get everything looked at, I think we can unbolt that motorcycle in 5 minutes and have it out, get it running, and bolt it right back in if it'll run.
Yeah.
And we got an extra motor that I didn't want to bolt up. I didn't want to load.
You didn't even want it.
I tried to leave.
You tried to leave it.
What about the motor?
It looks like a good 6-cylinder motor.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it's a good 6-cylinder motor.
Yeah. So,
but
it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a cool build. And this is gonna be a Johnny build. So, like I said, he likes the oddball stuff. And if y'all haven't seen the on the video of the Audi
Sport Ute or S4 Ute.
S4 Ute, it's on our YouTube channel. I'll put it in the comments below. You can go by and check it out. But he actually took an Audi. What is that?
An Audi S4, which is it's basically a Volkswagen Jetta underneath the skin.
But it's the
V8 6-speed manual, all-wheel drive sports car from Audi. It had like 350 horsepower. So it was a pretty peppy little car. Now it's a pretty peppy little pickup truck.
Yeah, but we'll put it, and you can go watch that video and check that car out. It's awesome. And that was a build that he did. And so this is going to be, I don't know, he's got all kinds of ideas about what he's going to do or what he's not going to do. But this is going to be, the first thing we need to do is get it running.
Yeah, job one, get it running.
Yep. So that's where we're going. And if it don't, if we can't get this engine running, the motorcycle running, we might put a Harley. Harley, baby. We need to put a Harley. Yeah, Harley in this thing.
I don't think this body would stand all that Harley.
You think the Bondo would shake out of it?
It might.
All right, folks. Well, listen, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We're going to keep you updated on the, what are we going to call this thing? It's a Tri Magnum.
Could call it a tri-tune, but I think somebody else is using that name.
Tri-tune, what would you come up with last night?
Triple Magnum. No, triple fear.
Triple threat.
Triple threat.
The triple threat. That is it. The triple threat right here. We got it. So thank y'all for tuning in to Phillips Motor Company. Keep up with this build. Go check out the other build he got, not to mention the other videos that we have. And we'll keep you updated on this. And it's time to get to work and get greasy.
Yes.